What's compelled you to stand for Macmillan?
Well, after tonight, you can probably understand, and the word was used, we've all had a gutful of the major two parties. The Qatar Australia Party is something very different. We've got our core values, we've got our ideas, and I'm very happy in the direction that my party, our party, is going. So.
Now, what kind of differences, I guess, would people expect to see in this area if you were I know it's unlikely, but if a Qatar government were elected, what would be the difference that people would see here?
Well, put it this way, mate, it won't be the two parties that gets into Macmillan, because we have realised now that the Macmillan area is sick and tired of what they haven't been getting. It's very disappointing. Kissing babies means absolutely nothing.
So what hasn't the area been getting, and so what would you want to see?
Well, it's financial, really. Russell Broadbent, he's a guy that's behind a party. He says things that he wants to do, but the party will never allow him to do. What we need is direction for Macmillan, right? Coal seam gas, absolutely no for Victoria, absolutely no for Macmillan, because of our food sources and everything else like that. We've got to get our health and our roads up and going, and that's one of the big issues for around here. Just got to have a look at our roads, matey, and the costs it's costing everyone.
So those are your major issues. What would you actually do? What would the actual policies and processes you do to address those issues be?
Well, the most important thing is we really have to work out what money we have actually physically got to spend. Both parties are telling us, hundreds of billions of dollars, this, that, but at the end of the day, we really don't know, and that's the reason why the Liberal Party is going back through, checking all Ruddy's stuff. Ruddy's checking what the Liberals have got to do, because no one believes anyone. Until we physically know what the national debt is, all right, which is around about $37 billion by September the 7th, then we've got to start to work out the best way of spending the money in the correct way.
But what would be the? Well, in that case, I guess what would be your? Oh no, when it comes to actually fixing those major issues that you listed, what would be the actual process that you do to fix them? Regardless, I guess, of I know the financial situation will determine when you can do it, but what would you do to fix it?
Well, the best thing is you've got to get the right people into it to understand it and all the rest. Most of the politicians have never ever really worked a real life. I'm sorry to say that, but I have, and a lot of these new politicians, well, trying to be politicians, we've worked for a living, we've worked for our life, we can see the issues and problems. A lot of it to us is common sense, but to Canberra and the federal, it isn't. So what we want to do is get back to grassroots and start from there up.
But what would be the policy for actually fixing these problems? What would you actually do to fix these problems? I mean, you have background in it, so from your approach, from your background, what would you do to fix these problems?
Well, first of all, mate, we've got to fix infrastructure. All right, infrastructure, roads, working. How, mate? It comes to money. It's as simple as that, right? We've got to spend X, Y, and Z, and I physically cannot tell you how much of X, Y, and Z there is.
But if you had the money, how would you do it?
All right. If we had the money, the most important thing is we've got to do infrastructure and jobs first. All right, then fix our roads, then fix our health. That's the way we've got to do it. We've got to get there, get it moving, then have the rest of the money and the resources to continue on down the path of the 20 or 21 different things that has to be done. Because, mate, let's face it, the wheel is broken, but it's not just the spokes. There's a lot of things that needs to be done, so it's got to take a lot of time and effort to get there.
Now, it's been an issue that's been identified by a few candidates as something that needs to be, addressed. The issue of gay marriage. Now, Qatar Party gives, there's been, mixed reports as to what the Qatar Party would let its candidates do and say about the issue. Where do you stand, and what would you like to see happen in that regard?
Mate, I was born and grown up, and what it really is marriage is between a man and a woman. All right, that's where it's going to be, between a man and a woman, and if we come to a conscious vote, and that's how it looks like it's going to go, my conscience, right, it's like your conscience, we're allowed to have our own ideas and thought, it's between a man and a woman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, I appreciate it.